This is lesson 6.1. We are in geometry today doing translations. For bell work, we're all supposed to do P3 for IXL, so go ahead and pause the video and make sure you get P3 to about 60 points just to get an idea of what translations are. Alright, so here we are, lesson 6.1, and this is what a translation looks like. You don't have to draw this right now, just take a look at it. We have triangle ABC sliding down here to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay, you see how there's that little thing next to the A, B, and C? That's what we call prime, and that's our image. Okay, so let's talk about some vocabulary. First of all, a transformation, you can jot these down. Transformation is an operation that maps an original geometric figure called the pre-image, so that's the beginning image, onto a new figure called the image. So the beginning is the pre-image, and the end is the image. And of course, a translation is what we're doing today. A translation slides a figure from one position to another without turning it. So jot that down, pause the video if you need to. And let's take a look at all the transformations that we're going to do here. Okay, transformations is like the big heading, okay, and there's different types. Okay, the first one is what we're doing today. It's called translation. Notice they're very similar in words, but they do mean different things. A transformation is just any kind of movement, where a translation is a slide. Okay, it's sliding a figure. Tomorrow we're going to work on reflection, okay, mirroring an image. We're also going to do rotation later on. That's where we turn something. And then dilation. And that's where we make it bigger or smaller. These are all transformations, all ways to move an object. You don't have to write this down. Let's just take a look. Okay, this is what it looks like. If I were to take this triangle and move it, slide it, I could do it in multiple ways. I could slide it up. I could slide it down, right or left, or I could do multiple, right? I could go up and then right. Okay, you could do multiple things here to translate slide. So you'll have a graphic organizer that looks like this. If you have it already, you can add things to it here. If not, you can come back here when you have a chance. These are all the different transformations we're doing. Okay, today we're doing translations. So there's a picture where the T's are sliding or the heart is sliding. All right, so a transformation, just remember, is a slide. And you're going to add this to your notes right here in red. Every point in a figure moves the same distance in one or two directions within a plane. So that's your definition. Pause the video if you need to. We have to make sure and highlight this here. All right, we're going to maintain the way the shape is facing. We're also going to maintain the shape, the size of the shape, the length of all the sides, and the size of the angles. We're maintaining all those things when we do a transformation. Nothing is changing. Okay? And then we'll talk about the right side shortly. Let's just move on here. So you'll also have, this is your packet, okay? This is the front page of your packet. And we're going to start with translations. Number one, we're translating this 1 unit to the left. So if I start with X here, okay, I want to move that 1 unit to the left. I'm going to make my pen a little smaller. And 1 unit to the left would be right here. Once you have that down, you're going to go ahead and label it, which would be X prime, because that's the image. The image will have a prime. Okay, and then Q, we can move that 1 to the left. That would be here. We're going to call that Q prime. Let's move U 1 unit to the left. U prime, and G 1 unit to the left would be right here. That's G prime. And all you're going to do is connect your dots. So I'm going to connect here, 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 and there. So it should look like the same shape. It didn't change in size in any way. The angles didn't change. The side lengths didn't change. All it did was it got shifted 1 unit to the left. Okay. Let's do number 2. This time we want to move 1 unit to the right and 2 units down. So let's start with T. T, 1 unit to the right would be, I'm just going to show it here, I'm going to erase the rest of it though. So 1 unit to the right would be here, but I still want to go 2 units down. So 2 units down would be here. So technically that second red dot is what I want, right? I'm moving 1 unit to the right, 2 units down, but all I want is that dot. So I'm going to erase this because I don't want to confuse anybody. All right, so E, let me draw a picture and then I'll erase, right? 1 unit right, 2 units down, so it's right here. But again, I don't want all that other stuff on my paper. And I is going to be down here when I go 1 to the right and 2 down. Connect your dots. Oh, we forgot to label these. This is T prime, E prime, and I prime. And there you go. Why don't you try number 3 and 4 on your own. Pause the video. All right, your number 3 should look like this. Same shape, just like slid 3 units to the right, and 4 should look like that. All right, number 5. So now we have to graph this UML, okay, and then we will translate that 5 units up. So U, -3, -4. So I'm going to go 3 left here and 4 down, which is here, okay? It's where these 2 things meet. Okay, -3, -4. Don't forget this is the X and this is the Y. All right, -1, -1 would be right here. We should be labeling these as we go. So this is U, this is M, and -2, -5 would be my L. Make sure you know how to graph. Okay. Now notice I didn't put primes on these because these are not my primes. This is my pre-image. Okay, and then I'm going to move this over 5 units up. So each one I'm going to use a different color. 5 units up. So M going 5 units up. I'll even show it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but I don't want that line there, right? So that's my M being slid 5 units up, and of course it's prime now. L sliding 5 units up will be right there, and U will be right there. So that's our primes, and you connect your dots, and that's it. Let's do one more together, unless you want to pause and see the end result, that's fine. I'll keep my pre-images in red. So let's see, R is at -4, -3, that's my R. -4, 0 would be my D, and 0, 0 is L, and F is at 0, -3. So we look like we have a rectangle here. Okay. So there we go. That is my pre-image. I haven't done anything to it yet, so it's called a pre-image. The image is just going to be 3 units up. So every part is going to go up by 3. So L going up by 3 would be here. D going up by 3. Now R going up by 3 is going to be in the same spot where D is. If you count, start at R, go up 1, 2, 3, you notice it's right there. And F prime will also be on the dot where L is. So let's label those R prime and F prime. I'm going to connect my dots. It's okay for lines to be touching. No big deal. All right. Now, think about this. Which axis controls the left and right movement? So which axis goes from left to right? That's this one, right? From left to right, that is the x-axis. And which controls the up and down? Well, obviously that would be the y-axis. So when you're sliding things left and right, you're changing the x. If I'm going left, the x is getting smaller, right? Negative. And as I go right, x is getting bigger. Same thing with the y-axis. As I go up, y gets bigger, and as I go down, y gets smaller. So let's look back at that transformations graphic organizer that you have over here, where it says left minus and right plus affects the x value. That's all I mean, right? When you're sliding to the right or left, it's making the x value bigger or smaller. You can write that in here if you want. Bigger or smaller. And that goes for the y as well. When you go up or down, it makes it bigger or smaller. All right, looking back on that page though here, let's do number 7 and 8. It says to find the coordinates of the vertices of each figure after the given transformation. Well, we have a translation of 2 units left and 1 unit down. So the 2 units left is going to change, right, left, and right changes the x. So let me go like this so we can read it better. So 2 units left is going to make the x get smaller by 2. So we're going to take away 2 from the x. And when we move down, that's changing the y. And since it's down, the y is going to get smaller as well. So y is going to get smaller by 1. So all you're doing, you guys know this is x and y here, my coordinates, right? So x is 0, we're going to take away 2 from 0. And y, we're also going to take away 1. From x, take away 2. From y, take away 1. And I'm just writing that here. You don't have to write this every time. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. All right, what happens when I do that? On your calculator, you're saying 0 minus 2. That gives me -2. Then we do the next one. -1 minus 1 on your calculator. That's also -2. So Q prime is -2, -2. All right, let's do D. All right, we're taking away 2 from the x, and then we're taking away 1 from the y. So D prime is going to be, well, -2 minus 2 is -4, and 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, so this is my Q prime, my D prime. Let's do V prime. They're not going to line up here because my writing is big. Hopefully you can line them up. All right, 2 minus 2, right here, the x. 2 minus 2, I get 0. Okay, 4 minus 1, I get 3. And then the last one, J prime. Okay, 3 minus 2 is 1. And of course, 0 minus 1 is -1. There you go, that's your answer. You can box that in, because that's our answer. All right, pause and see if you can do the next one. We're going to do it together right now. All right, all we're doing now is moving 2 units down. So the x is going to stay the same. I'm just subtracting 2 from the y because it's going down. So -2 here, -2, -2, -2. Notice that x doesn't do anything because we're not changing x. So D prime, it's still a -4 because we didn't change the x. And we're just taking away 2. 1 minus 2, -1. Let's do A prime. The x stays the same, -2. 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, S prime, -1, comma, 4 minus 2 is 2. And we'll do N prime down here, -1, 0. All right. Let's do number 9 and 10. Again, pause the video. Hopefully you had a chance to do that. Here are the answers. Okay. We're translating 4 left, which means minus 4 on the x, and 4 up, which means to add. Oh, I did this wrong. Let's fix that. All right, let's do that here. Okay, so 4 units left means the x is going to be taken away by 4, and we're going to add 4 to the y. Okay, that's what we're doing. That's what these things say. So take away 4 from the x, but add 4 to the y. Take away 4, add 4, take away 4, add 4. All right, so j prime is -5, 2. A prime is -5, 4. And n prime is -1, 1. All right, if you haven't had a chance to do number 10, go ahead and do that now. Pause the video. And here's number 10. Okay, you're adding 3 to x because we're moving right. Right means to add 3. Up means to add 4 to y. There it is. Check your answers. All right, let's write a rule to describe each transformation. If you look here, I know your paper isn't colored, but mine is. So the black here is the pre-image because it doesn't have the primes next to it, and the blue has the primes. So the black is where we start, and the blue is where we end up. Always look for that prime here next to the U or next to any letter. So what are we doing? What kind of translation did we do to go from Q to Q prime? It looks like I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. Let's check. U goes up 1, 2, 3, 4. I, or excuse me, that's a T, and M. Everything goes up by 4. So all you did here is go 4 units up. And if you want to look like an algebra student, you could say that your normal xy, what changed? Just the y, right? The x stayed the same, and the y, we added 4 to it. Okay. Let's look at number 12. We start in the black, then we go to the blue. Let's do the x first, right? The x would be the movement from right to left. So it looks like I need to go right 1, 2, 3 times. So let's do this. 3 right. And then it looks like 1, 2, 3 down. Okay, you can double check by checking all the other ones. 3 right, 3 down. Everything goes 3 right, 3 down. So right, don't forget, means to add to the x, right? And then down, we're going to subtract from the y. So to be a good algebra student, you say that xy changes to, well, what do we do to the x? We're going to add 3 to the x, and what do we do to the y? Subtract 3. All right, let's try 13 and 14. Please pause the video, see if you can come up with the answers. All right, let's see how we did. 2 units up, 4 units left would be let's see, x minus 4 and y plus 2. and the last one 6 units right. So x plus 6 and y stay the same. So you're going to do what it says here.